Hello, everybody. Welcome to Train Sim World 2 Peninsula Corridor Thursday. We're going to have another go here since yesterday was just a disaster. Let's just be honest. Yesterday was disaster. There's no other way to put it. Anyway, so we're going to get in here. We're going to give this a go. And hold on, make sure everything's up and running. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's get in here. So we're gonna try the F40 again. Let's see, what's the early morning service, or did I already do it? Well, we'll do the 7:14 service, yeah. Alright, limited stop. Good morning, Mela. How are you? Alright. That's the correct side. Let's get this in there. Let's get all these on. Headlights on. Lights. That on. So our passengers have lights. I'm hanging in there, Mela. I'm hanging in there. Just rolled out of bed, got my coffee. Figured I'd do another service on Peninsula Corridor. Hey, Pete, how are you? So, yeah, just yeah, yesterday, so I came into the last time, and I went all the way to San Jose, but I was late the rest of the time. Excuse me. Pardon me. So I accidentally put the brake into handle off, which completely locked up the locomotive. Like I couldn't get power at all. And so I'm like, how can I get the thing moving again? What's going on? And so I was finally able. I basically had to turn the main battery off and then turn it back on and then restart the loco. And then I was finally able to go. And so it was just a real pain in the you-know-what. So but I kind of feel like everything was all hinged on what happened with Arosa Line the other day too. Like yesterday was just, it was just terrible. So I was finally able to get the locomotive restarted, finish the service, but ended up with a silver because I was only getting I was so late. I was only getting the base 250 points for action points with the passengers. So, yeah, good stuff. So I'm so close to completing 400 miles on the F40. So I thought, well, I'll just come in and do it, and hopefully it'll be a bit quieter, a bit less hectic, whatever you want to call it, coming in this early. So, anyways, well, this is weird. It's saying I have one viewer on my laptop, and on my TV screen is showing 3. I don't know. Twitch has been acting a little weird lately. Yeah, here we go. Alright. I don't know, it's not like I'm overdue on my bill for my internet, but lately it's just been... Ugh, garbage. Getting there like you, Rob. Don't worry, it happens to everybody. Yeah, it's just yesterday was just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was just the way things were going, and I don't know. And sometimes I feel like it's we have all hey Richard. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, it's not like I'm across the room or downstairs or upstairs from my router. I'm like 2 or 3 feet away from it. No, I have Spectrum, because they were the only one in the area that already had lines in the building, basically, that it wouldn't, they wouldn't have to rewire a bunch of stuff. And but yeah, I figured I'd wow, now it says I got 8 people in. Wow, it's kind of odd for a nearly 7 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna come in here 22nd Street. Well, this is a much better stop than normal. Wow, actually hit the mark. Hey, good morning, Daniel. How are you? Good morning, Mick. Wow, everybody's here. This is quite surprising. Thank you all. I did not expect that. I figured it would be Pete and Amella, and maybe Mick would be lurking in the background. Man, wow. You guys gonna make me get all emotional and stuff. So, as I was saying the other day, this portion of Peninsula Corridor did not exist originally when the line was originally built back in the 1800s, late 1800s. It went all a different direction up into the city, a different way. And when they did this section, it cost, and I don't know if this was in the money back then or if this was money you know, how it was done. But anyway, they said it cost $1 million a mile to complete. And it started at Bayshore, where we're headed to next. And then they basically moved everything over to where I think it's like an alignment project. The way that they did this. Now the railroad did operate along the waterfront. That they had, so that the farmers from the South Bay were able to sell or get their produce and everything up into the city, and then a lot of stuff would be put on ship or whatever. So yeah, that's how Southern Pacific, which operated the railroad for quite a long time. They ran the it was a mixture of freight and passenger. So anyway, yeah, really fascinating history about this railroad and stuff that I never knew about, the history of it. You must have just gotten home from work then, Daniel. Or you've been home and you're just finally getting ready to go to bed. Well, thanks for stopping in before you nod off for the night or morning, however you call it. And the president of Southern Pacific, when the earthquake happened in San Francisco in 1906, he got on a train from New York. He was in New York City at the time, and basically went cross country as quickly as possible. And Southern Pacific was one of the main companies that helped people evacuate from the city and get food and whatever else they might need to get by after the earthquake. Yeah. And I don't think they charged. If I remember the story, I have to look it up. I don't think he charged, anything for his for the efforts. Like, it was just, he felt it was the right thing to do. And I want to put that into. Ooh. No, this won't be a perfect stop, but better than. No, we're all on the platform. That's okay. So yeah, basically the railroad went straight. I wanted to say straight, kind of. It went a different way than what it did now. And I don't remember when they did the project that basically I'm here in the queue on game website waiting to grab a piece. Nice. All right. Yep, see, this is what happened yesterday. I didn't put it in. Okay. I already know how to solve this. Yeah, see, like I'm getting no power, right? Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this in neutral. Take that out. Turn this off. Turn that off. Turn that off. We're going to put the brake into handle off. We're going to cut this out. Put that there. Alright, turn the battery off. Turn the battery on. On. Engine. Oh, I know what I gotta do. I gotta put this to there. There we go. Ta-da. And there we go. Now we may be a minute or so late, but it's better than I want to run over here real quick. That back on. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco again. The brake on this thing is so sensitive. I don't know why that is, but yeah, it's a bit of a mess. If you put the handle even remotely, if it thinks that you put it into handle off, you'll not be able to move. So if you turn all that off, kind of do what I did, and then move that to the start position, you just turn it, go the other way. Yeah, you'll be able to fire this bad boy back up. So, yep. Yeah, I didn't put the warning device on. I just leave things the way they are. Oh, I don't need the I can turn that off now because we're not going through any more tunnels. Alright, South San Francisco's next. This feels like I thought I picked a limited stop service. This feels more like an all stop service, but oh well. Yeah, we're gonna be late getting into South San Francisco, it looks like. Yep. All right. Well, at least I won't be like nearly 10 minutes late the rest of the time like I was last night. So, see, now my brake gauge isn't moving either. Does it tell me like my pressures? I'm gonna have to watch the. Oh, nice, Daniel. We'll take that stop. Oh, it was almost perfect. I didn't even have to use the drone cam. Alright, well, maybe we'll make up a little bit of time, but... Oh, I know what the problem is. I forgot to put that there. There we go. Now we're going to be good. There, that's what the problem was. Yeah, Northern Transpennine, I remember when I first played that route, it was not an easy route to ride on or to play. All right, Sam Bruno, then Bill Bray. So hopefully everybody's doing good on Thursday. One more day to Friday. One more day to the weekend. Yeah, you're exactly right, Daniel. It is. Uh, I don't know why that is though. Like, I don't know if it's just the way that the timetables are set up, and then with the equipment that you get to run on the route, you know, it is what it is, or right off the throttle. Let's get a little bit of brake action going. Yeah, it has. It has. It's weird now that I'm not in school. It's like for a while I still had my calendar set up to remind me and all that. And then when it's like, oh, we're done. you know, I don't. But then I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to say we're done. I thought we were done, but let me just wait to make sure that the teacher doesn't send out an email saying, here's the link to the Zoom class meeting. It feels good not to have that weight on my shoulders anymore of worrying about getting stuff done and trying to make the teacher happy by doing things, doing assignments on time and whatnot. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. But which I wonder, I bet you that rail line was not like the safest ever, because the train operators would feel compelled to speed to make up the time, and then that could lead to a lot of accidents. Like, I feel like there was probably a lot of derailments or collisions, or uh, yeah, I just got that feeling that line was not the safest to be on, whether as a passenger or as a train engineer. Especially because I think, a lot of those stops were like places of industry, and people were worried about being late, and what if half of your morning, well, not half, would say maybe a quarter of your morning workforce is late all the time. It's one thing to question when one person says, well, we were late, but when 40 or 50 people know the train was late, you kind of have to believe them whole, like, it's not like they're going to all have time to get together to concoct the lie. But yeah, I always felt that was probably not the safest line in Great Britain during the time that the game is taking place. All right, here we are coming into Millbrae, and then Burlingame's after that. Yeah, school's over. It ended actually. The last day of classes was Tuesday, but we didn't have to attend. I didn't have to attend any classes. So yeah, everything's done. I'm done with it. Getting on brakes a little early, but we can take a little speed off here. Yeah, I'm done. I'm glad it's over with. Quite honestly. I mean, it was fun while it lasted, but, the opportunity to go to a school like Syracuse, I'll always be, proud of that accomplishment. Even though I didn't get a degree, the fact that I got accepted went to, basically 2 semesters, that's probably more than most people. Well, I can't say that most people will never get. I mean, I never thought at my age I'd be going to a school like Syracuse, to be honest. But, I'm thankful for the opportunity and all that. That could have been a lot worse stop if I hadn't. I heard the plane go over where to go. That's already gone. But yeah, when I applied, I didn't really think, because I'm like, what? Why would they? But being a veteran, they want that it's guaranteed money. You know, um, so of course they're gonna say yes. Uh, but it also with the pandemic, I think they kind of they didn't hold the standards that they used to. Um, so yeah, but Burlingame then San Mateo. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I learned a few things, kind of, uh, but a lot of the stuff that I learned, I can find on my own. Uh, I can find different sources. I can, you know, try to make it where uh, said I had 9 routes. I must have 10. I forgot I got this route too. Oh, well, it's definitely a nice route, Daniel. Definitely a nice route. It just take I if you've got the MP36, I would definitely recommend that you learn the route on the MP36 because you don't have that lap brake system to contend with. So it makes it a little bit easier to learn the stops and everything. Uh, if you've got the switcher, that's some fun stuff to do with the switcher. Um, there is a little bit of freight with the Union Pacific GP38s, but yeah, otherwise it is a good route. Um, the brake lap thing, or the lap brake system is. I know a lot of people. I guess it would be comparable to what you deal with on the British 101. You know, it's judging your braking zones and trying to get those right. And, yeah, so but otherwise it's a really nice route. The only thing that you can't have on here is snow. I don't think it's not an option you can pick, but you can pick rain. It can be sunny. It can be night. Yeah, yeah. Definitely spend some time with it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Speaking of brakes, I need to get on my brake here because, well, luckily we're going slightly uphill. Coming into Burlingame. Is this stop gonna? Am I gonna nail it? Am I gonna nail it? Am I gonna? Oh! Look at that! Look at that stop! It has, Amilla. Oddly enough, we have gotten snow in the Bay Area before. Not a lot, but there was. I think there's been once or twice in the history of the Bay Area that it snowed, but it wasn't like a huge, like what we get here on the East Coast. But it was cold enough. The hills had snow. It was basically like like a frost. That was a freaking awesome stop. Wow. And I thought I was going to blow past the station. Yeah, I nailed that one. That was not expected. I thought for sure I would have, it would have kept going a little bit farther. Wow. Totally unplanned. That was not. I thought I screwed this one up because I was looking at the chat and I was, talking and. But yeah, Daniel, I think you'd really enjoy this if you've got the MP36. Run the MP36. You'll really enjoy that locomotive. I think more. They have all stop services. They have limited stop. They don't have the name Baby Bullet. I think they used to. They probably don't anymore. But they used to have. I think was pretty much a non-stop service from San Francisco to San Jose. But Pete pulling his "I'm not lurking" card. No. If anybody'd be lurking in here, it'd be Mr. Addies, but I don't think he could be bothered. And that's okay. It is what it is. The MP36 is an add-on, as well as the MP15, the switcher. But if you're going to get anything, I definitely recommend getting the MP36, Daniel. It does make learning the route, if you're new to it, it makes it a lot easier. Well, let's see if we can replicate the... No, we're going to be a little short on this one. Unless. No. Oh well. Oh wow. Well, everything's definitely on the platform, so. Anyway, yeah, I know. Oh, I don't know if Richard left. He may have. I think he just popped in to say hi, which is fine. I appreciate that. Hayward Park is next. And then Hillsdale. Yeah, this I must have misread this, or it's labeled incorrectly on the timetable. This is definitely not a limited stop service. It doesn't feel like it. I think we're darn near stopping everywhere. And my miles are not, for whatever reason, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it goes on sale, Daniel. So if you catch it on sale, it's a pretty good value. That's a bummer, Mick. So I know, Daniel, you're on a PlayStation. Mick, you're on a PlayStation. When you play this game, you guys aren't getting the memory resource errors or any kind of unexpected game crashes or anything like that. Is that correct? Ah, crap, I did it again. That's going to stop way short. Ugh. Alright. And we're not all the way on the... Nowhere near all the way on the platform. Okay, well, at least we're going to have power, so that's going to count for something, I think. There goes the MP36 right there. That was a terrible stop. But we're moving, that's all that matters. From other players, it works really well on this game. I haven't on mine, but I don't have the route that you seem to be getting that on, I think. Okay. Well, I mean, I had it. The crazy thing was, like, I've had it happen on Hamburg to Lübeck, and it wasn't... I mean, when I was doing the... when I tried to replay the points challenge thing on that service that Joe had picked, I got the... You know, I was going into Hamburg, and then when I went to open the map even, I got that memory resource error. So, it seems to me that it's more of an Xbox issue than it is a PlayStation issue. And the nearest I can figure it then is it's just a difference in the architecture, maybe. I don't know. It just doesn't, you know, that's the only thing that I can think of that makes any kind of sense. Hillsdale and then Belmont. We're starting to we're getting close to making up our time. We're going to be about almost a minute late by the time we stop here. Oh, look. I thought I was going to nail it again. That passenger didn't seem very happy. She was standing here looking at this. She wasn't even looking at the nice poster that we put up. She was just like staring at this wall right here. That non-playing character needs to see a non-playing therapist. She sure didn't seem like she was impressed with my stopping either. Alright, Belmont is next. Alright, see, here's where I think we're going to start kind of making up for lost time. Because a lot of these stations are close together. Belmont and then San Carlos. Um, yeah. The non-playing character. She was standing there, arms crossed, and she was staring at a wall. Amela. Uh, yeah, I think so too, Daniel. I think it is a matter of people aren't. It's mainly the Xbox players that are experiencing these issues versus the PlayStation players. I don't think Joe's ever had anything happen. The only one that I think is universally screwed up for everybody is a Rosa line. Um, and I kind of feel like that's why, like, Joe hasn't really been back on there at all. I'm steering clear of it for the time being. Matter of fact, I meant to look this morning, and I'll look after we're done, to see if the Rivet Games has put anything out on their site about upcoming fixes for a Rosa line, or is it? I don't want to say it's a lost cause, because I don't think that they wanted to say, well, sorry, we goofed this one up, and it is what it is. Ooh, I totally put too much brake on there. Alright, I gotta get that release so I can kind of coast in here. We might be on time for this one finally. But because anybody who streams probably hasn't gone back to a Rosa line because the bugs that were supposed to have been fixed haven't been fixed, or weren't really dealt with properly. Oh, we were so close to being on time. But we're getting there. We're making up time, making up points, making up stories along the way to tell the passengers. All right, we got San Carlos is next. Oh, there's that looping sound. Right into Notch 8 right away. Notch 8 is where we live. San Carlos, then Redwood City. Well, this, despite our little hiccup earlier, hasn't gone too terribly bad. Could be a lot worse. Alright, now I definitely feel like we're going to be on time for San Carlos. Oh, did it again. Oh, there we go. That's a nice stop right there. Nailed that one. And we were on time. Nailed the stop on time. So we will get our max points finally for passenger service. Since we left San Francisco. Redwood City and in Palo Alto. Goes a northbound gallery cab car at the F40. Yeah. Not too shabby. So hopefully we're going to be on time the remainder of our service. Definitely get a gold out of this one. Might just have to go back and replay that one service from the other day and get a gold out of it. I think it definitely helped trying to coast in and not get on the bricks right away. We were able to, although it was going to be pretty close to being on time or being even a smidge late. This should be a good stop, and I normally used to always mess up coming into Redwood City. Pretty darn close to perfect. I'll take it. Our passengers are able to get off the train safely. Climate best by government test, just as a reminder. So we were on time here as well. Alright, Palo Alto is next, and then Santa Clara. Wow, we are going from Palo Alto, we're bypassing Mountain View. Interesting. Yeah, we are back on time. We weren't like super behind, which is good. We were on time. Or well, we were a little bit late, but we weren't like so late that we were dropping points. We were kind of hovering probably right around, an average. I'm going to say our average was probably 425, so we weren't losing too many points, but yeah. There's that GP38 always hiding. I wonder, like, if you like free roam and run up there and get in there, what service does it tell you to do? I wonder how many services I have left on. Matter of fact, before we leave, I'm just going to look at the services on the GP38 and see what's left. I mean, if there's a quick one, we might well just throw that one in there just for fun. Because I've not driven the Union Pacific in a while, and I know we got Union Pacific stuff coming soon, but come up to one of my favorite stations on the line, Palo Alto. Oh, here's a little known fact. If you didn't know this already, San Francisco used to be the capital of California. It wasn't always Sacramento. I'd have to look up why. Well, I guess it probably was because it was such an important, city. A lot of commerce and trade and whatnot went through there. But I don't know why it changed. Like, what brought on the this take it up to Sacramento, other than maybe the 1906 earthquake. Did I get it right? Did I get it right? Did I get it right? Oh, so close. Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot about that San Francisco used to be the capital of California. But I'd have to look as to reasons why they moved it to Sac. But I kind of feel like the 1906 earthquake, and then once they discovered the fault lines along San Francisco, I think they just didn't want take the chance that San Francisco was gonna fall to another really major earthquake like what happened in 1906. I mean, the 1989 earthquake certainly did its share of damage, and changed the face of San Francisco for forever. Uh, you know, the way that it used to look. If you look at even photos from the 1960s, it does not look the same. And that's okay. Oop, 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 oop. We're moving. Ah, I did it. Oh, I'm gonna have to restart. Oh boy. Oh, it's releasing. Okay. I thought I was gonna have to restart the system again. All right, Santa Clara is next, and then San Jose, and then we're done. Yeah. Matter of fact, they talked about that a little bit in that book I've been reading that I have about the Peninsula Corridor history. And I didn't know this either because I've been reading, getting that little book and understanding more about the locomotive, like the way that this line is set up when Caltrans, which is they put the train on there instead of trans because that's the transportation department of the state of California. There's a joint powers board. It's three. You got San Francisco, San Mateo, and Santa Clara counties. All three counties, because the line runs through three counties. They created a commission, basically, or board of directors, to manage the route. And so anytime now, like when they talked about electrifying the line, all three counties have to agree on everything. They have to look at the cost, how's it going to impact the riders, construction, they have to go in and put the poles for the wires, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, all that stuff has to be agreed upon by all three counties. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. Or but they basically run the line, and I think they just keep the I don't know if they're going to keep the Caltrain logo because it's tied to this line. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah. But I'm glad that it's going to continue on. I think the electrification of the system will be immensely beneficial to the Bay Area because these diesels aren't spewing more stuff into the air and all that. So I don't know how the freight stuff's going to go once the line's electrified. But I also learned, so the building, we'll see it when we come in here as we pass Mountain View. The station building is it's a replica of what was there. So there's one there. There's one in, maybe it's at Santa Clara. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, there's like some of the buildings along the way are replicas of what was there in the early years of the railroad. Matter of fact, we should be coming into Mountain View here in just a moment. Just after the station. Yeah. That was San Antonio back there. So yeah, Mountain View should be coming up here in just a hot minute. Yeah, I don't know when they in the book, and if you go on Amazon and just, even if you're in the UK, if you search Peninsula Corridor, you might be able to order the book on Amazon through there. Uh, Really neat pictures showing the history, talking about. There was a writer who got them to expand the space for the uh, bike areas. San Francisco, this line was one of the first ones that allowed riders to bring their bikes on board. And initially, they just didn't have any space for it. But one of the riders was able to create a system for the bikes. There we go. That's a replica building right there. That station. So that way, riders who could, who went up to the city and then rode, to their job or whatever, had a safe way to bring their bikes, that it didn't hinder other riders or anything. Yeah. The gal who wrote the book actually worked for, I think, the marketing department for Caltrain for over 20 years or something like that. So she's got a lot of first-hand knowledge. Yeah, really, really interesting stuff. But this is the oldest continuing passenger line on the, or, well, not just passenger, oldest continuing railroad on the West Coast. Before the railroad, and I'm trying to figure out how this worked, because unless the way the water was a long time ago in the South Bay, you had to basically take a steamboat from the South Bay, or the southern tip of the bay here, up to San Francisco, which was like a 5-hour boat ride. Alright, should be passing through Sunnyvale, I think. Yep. There's the Sunnyvale station. But all this stuff, years ago, long time ago, a lot of this was all farmland. Didn't know that. Learn, like Daniel said, you learn something new every day. Now it's all like a technological farm. And, in the North Bay, you have Lucasfilm up past San Francisco. Lucasfilm's up northern Marin County, but they do own land now in the former. Well, they did. I don't know if they still own it. I think they do, but they have offices and stuff now at the old Presidio of San Francisco, which was a military installation that the Army closed, I think, in the late or early 2000s, maybe. I think they were starting to close it down in the late 90s. But yeah, there's the housing is still there. Some of the old buildings, they turned it into like a national park. But some of that stuff, Lucasfilm bought them, or leases them, or whatever. when they turned the short little airfield that they had into like the whole area, they turned it into like a... Yeah, I've been to Santa Clara plenty of times, Ambella. I've been through here. I've been up and down the whole Bay Area a lot. I've been all over the place. Despite the cost in California, especially the Bay Area, is ridiculously high price. There is a lot to see, a lot to do. You can go to the coast, you can go to Santa Cruz, the beach boardwalk. You've got Monterey. You got the aquarium there. If you go down to, you can go through Pebble Beach. There's like a drive that'll take you through parts of Pebble Beach and you know, some of the really nice homes there. I think it's like this, I don't know if it's called the 17-mile drive, something like that. It's really beautiful, very scenic. You got Carmel, who very famous. Carmel. Does anybody know who was the mayor of Carmel at one time? Let's see if anybody puts the answer in the chat. I was alive. Well, I've been alive for quite some time, but I remember when he became mayor of Carmel. And oh, he he rubbed people the wrong way instantly. Anyway, I don't think anybody's gonna venture a guess, but Clint Eastwood was mayor of Carmel, and I think he was encouraged to run by, there was the mayor at the time, and I don't remember who it was prior to Clint Eastwood. They had this ridiculous law that the mayor signed that you could not walk and eat ice cream on the sidewalk in Carmel. And so that was one of the things that Clint Eastwood said when he became mayor. That was his first order of business, was to throw that law out, because he said it's a nice place, you know. If people drop their ice cream, it's not a crime. It's just, you know, it's an accident. But yeah, he this building, this old switch office here, or signal office, this one, and this building here, which is like a freight / passenger area, this is also replica buildings. But yeah, I remember when he became... Oh, what happened there? I don't know what that... How did the break just suddenly go into... I feel like we're kind of hanging off the end here. Well, we're on time, so that counts for something. It was just our stop was not... I don't know what happened. But anyway, yeah, I've been through here before. It's just... What I learned, because, you know, here you have like the ticket office, and, you know, I don't think you could go in there. Maybe you can, but I don't remember. But what I realized growing up in the Bay Area, you don't really pay attention to any of these things, right? You're just like, oh, it's just a building. Who cares, you know? It's just a train station, blah, you know? I mean, I grew up, you know, certainly in the East Bay. I didn't know about Southern Pacific, and, you know, like when I grew up, Southern Pacific still, I think, was operating the rail line in the Bay, in San Francisco. So, you know, I didn't have, of course, I wasn't interested in, you know, when you ride BART, you're just like, oh, it's just a way to get around. You don't really get excited about BART, you know. Not the most interesting trains to look at. You know, they're kind of bland. You know. Alright, we can proceed with caution. 2.5 miles of San Jose. So when I was living in San Jose, and my friend and I would take the train up to the city to go to the Giants games at Palo Park, you know, I never paid attention to any of that stuff. I was just like, oh, it's just a building, and, you know. And certainly, you know, when I started becoming more interested in trains when I was in Afghanistan, learning about the history of railroads in America, for instance, especially, you know, there's so much stuff, and a lot of it just, you know, a lot of railroads have been folded into other ones. You know, that's why you have Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, Norfolk Southern, CSX, Union Pacific. I mean, those four are the main ones that kind of, you know, like Southern Pacific got folded into Union Pacific. So a lot of the stuff just doesn't exist anymore. Or, you know, that's why you see heritage units kind of acknowledging the history of the railroad in general, that, oh, you know, Southern Pacific existed separate from Union Pacific years ago. Oops, I better pay attention here because we got a 40 coming up and I'm going to be speeding. So they do, you know, learning about the history, because it's part of learning about how, you know, our country was built. It's not always the most pleasant stories, no denying that, but you know, these railroad tycoons basically moved a lot of business. You know, they moved freight, they moved people, and, you know, that's just part of our story. You know, getting to go to the Golden Spike Center and seeing this huge yard of Union Pacific, I mean, it's just gigantic. It's just incredible. That was a really interesting experience, you know. But, you know, playing this game now, I also, you know, even though I rode the trains when I was in Germany. But I didn't really pay attention to it because I wasn't thinking about, oh, I should get pictures of the train as it comes into the station or anything like that. It was, oh, well, I'm taking the train to go here. You know, oh, there's a cute girl in the seat up the aisle. You know. So I didn't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. Here's the special train getting ready to go into the station here in San Jose. Oh, that's the other thing too, Daniel, if you're still here. If you get the MP15 switcher, you get that MLK birthday special train. And you can actually drive it to the city and back. Well, at least we're finishing on a good note. We're going to be on time for our stop here at San Jose. But yeah, I've been I wish I could afford to live there again, but I can't. It's just, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. You know, there's so much I miss about being in the Bay Area. You know, for a while, I had actually considered when, you know, this was years and years ago, but I had thought about trying to apply to work on Caltrain, be a conductor on one of these trains. What looping sound is? So yeah, we're definitely going to be on time. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a gold out of this. If we get anything less than a gold, I'm going to be shocked. Oops. Well, this stop is not going to be as solid. I totally forgot because I forgot to change the brake back. But anyway, we're here. All right, let's see what we get here. There we go. And I don't think I got... Oh, 95%. Let's just take a look real quick. I just want to see what services we have for the GP38 still. There's only 9. I was going to say, I thought I got... Okay. It's only 9 services. And you get 11 with the MP15. I've done almost all of them. I got 2 left to do. But anyway, all right. Well, that's going to be it. Thank you all. I do generally appreciate that. You guys, I did not expect everybody to come in like that today. Thank you so much. I do greatly appreciate that. I thought I'd only get a few folks coming in, but anyway, thank you all for coming in, and I will catch you later. Bye.